China and India share one of the world's longest unmarked borders. Both have territorial claims on more than 3,500 kilometres of land. A month-long war in 1962 ended without any resolution. And there have been several standoffs since then, the latest in 2017. A year later, the Chinese and Indian leaders held talks to maintain peace in the region. Xi Jinping and Narendra Modi met again in October last year.
The ongoing border dispute between India and China is like a never-ending game of tug-of-war, with both sides fiercely holding on to their positions. The world has been wondering when and how this long-simmering problem will be resolved because it has been the source of occasional conflicts and tensions for decades. It all began in 1962, when China captured a significant portion of Indian territory, triggering a prolonged conflict that still remains unresolved to this day. In 1962, the world witnessed a military conflict that would go down in history as a defining moment in the India-China relationship. China had captured a significant part of Indian territory, dealing a humiliating defeat to India and leaving a deep scar on its national psyche. The conflict was not just about a piece of land, but a clash of ideologies, historical grievances, and strategic ambitions that had been brewing for years. For India, it was a wake-up call, a moment of reckoning that would shape its foreign policy and defense strategy for decades to come. The 1962 war between India and China marked a turning point in their relationship, leaving a legacy of mistrust, bitterness, and territorial disputes that still linger to this day. While India managed to win back some of the lost territories in the 1967 war, the McMahon Line Agreement remains a bone of contention between these two nations. India views China's occupation of its territory as illegal, while China, on the other hand, sees it as a legitimate annexation. This clash of views has led to a dangerous game of brinkmanship, with both sides pushing into each other's territory and flexing their military might. The line of actual control, LAC, between India and China is a mysterious and consistently shifting border. With its proximity to rivers, lakes, and snow-capped mountains, it's almost like a game of cat and mouse between the two sides. The soldiers on both sides patrol this volatile border, often coming face-to-face in tense standoffs, and this alone can spark a full-blown conflict anytime between two of the world's largest armies. You might be wondering, what stirred up this dispute? Well, it was a map. Yes, a map. The recent redrawing of the map may seem like a small-scale event, but it has ignited a powder keg of long-simmering tensions between the two global giants, India and China. The tension between India and China has spilled over to Nepal, the small country sandwiched between the two global powers. The Nepalese people are outraged and protesting against India, accusing it of disregarding their country's sovereignty. The conflict has reached a boiling point with a new Indian road on a strategic mountain pass and a revised map by Delhi showing disputed areas as belonging to India, only further fueling the already simmering tensions. As the tension continues to escalate, the world holds its breath, wondering if this latest chapter in the India-China saga will end peacefully or plunge us into an unprecedented global crisis or even World War III. What's surprising is that despite being two nuclear-armed powers, they have resorted to using sticks and rocks to avoid using guns, as agreed upon by both sides. This has created a surreal and dangerous situation, with soldiers on both sides engaged in hand-to-hand combat reminiscent of medieval battles in a modern context. The fact that the two nations, with a combined population of nearly 3 billion, have not been able to resolve their border disputes peacefully and have resorted to these extreme measures underscores the severity of the situation. What exactly are they fighting for? The disputed border between India and China has become a hotly contested zone, with both countries pouring significant resources into the region. Each side has ramped up its military presence, building roads, airstrips, outposts, and other infrastructure in a bid to establish its claim to the territory. Troops from both sides regularly patrol the area, with tensions running high as each side seeks to maintain its position. China claims to more than 90,000 square kilometers of land in the eastern Himalayas and another 38,000 square kilometers in the west have put it on a collision course with India, which disputes these claims. The situation is further complicated by the fact that the region is strategically important, providing access to valuable natural resources and a key trade route between China and South Asia. The Chinese government has been on a mission to frustrate any attempt by India to upgrade its military installations in the area, leading to an escalation of tensions between the two countries. Experts believe that China's assertive stance is fueled by a desire to extend its influence in the region and establish itself as the dominant power in Asia. The situation has put India on the defensive as it struggles to counter China's growing military might. This India-China border dispute has been simmering for years, but it reached a boiling point in 2020 when a bloody clash in the Galvan Valley resulted in the deaths of 20 Indian soldiers and an unknown number of Chinese troops. The event sent shockwaves around the world, marking the deadliest clash between the two sides in decades and sparking public outrage in India. But what could have triggered this clash? Tensions between India and China have been simmering for a while, but a new road to a high-altitude Indian forward air base turned out to be the spark that ignited a deadly clash between the two sides. The battle claimed the lives of at least 20 Indian soldiers, sending shockwaves throughout the region and the world. The dispute over the road's construction highlights the strategic importance of the area, which both countries view as crucial to their national security. As both sides continue to flex their muscles and refuse to back down, the risk of further escalation looms large. In the rugged and treacherous terrain of the Ladakh region, a road winds through mountain passes, leading to the world's highest airstrip more than 5,000 meters above sea level. The 255-kilometer, 140-mile Darbuk Shiok Daulat Beg Oldi DSDBO road, completed after nearly 2 decades of work, has the potential to significantly increase India's military mobility and capability to move men and material rapidly in a conflict. Its completion marks a major achievement for India, but has also sparked tensions with China, leading to the recent deadly clash that claimed the lives of at least 20 Indian soldiers. And how has India been responding to China's aggression? In response, the Indian government launched a series of measures to show that it was not going to back down, including banning Chinese mobile apps and sending a clear message to China that India was ready to fight back to defend its sovereignty. The move was unprecedented and showed that India was willing to take a hard line in the face of Chinese aggression, even if it meant potentially risking an all-out war. India, a rising superpower, has been flexing its military and economic muscles in response to China's growing aggression and territorial ambitions. With a formidable army and a booming economy, India is sending a clear message to China that it will not be pushed around. India is not taking China's expansionist agenda lying down. In response to Chinese incursions into its territory, India has taken bold steps to fortify its borders and reduce its dependence on China. India has ramped up its military presence along the border, deploying more troops and upgrading its infrastructure, including building new roads and bridges to improve access to remote areas. At the same time, India has been wooing companies to move out of China and set up shops in India, offering attractive incentives and business-friendly environment. The move has paid off, with many companies already making the switch, attracted by India's vast consumer market and low-cost labor. China's ambitious zero-COVID policy has caused major global companies like Apple, Nike, Toyota, and Samsung to rethink their long-standing reliance on Chinese manufacturing. As the Chinese government tightens its grip on domestic industries, foreign firms are feeling the squeeze and looking for new options. Fortunately, India, with its large and skilled labor pool and rich manufacturing history, is emerging as an attractive alternative. The Indian government is offering a range of incentives to woo these companies, including tax breaks, subsidies, and streamlined bureaucratic processes. For these companies, diversifying their operations to India offers a way to hedge against the risk of over-reliance on China and tap into a huge and growing consumer market. The call for a boycott of Chinese products is also having a major impact on Chinese businesses operating in India, with many reporting a sharp drop in sales and facing the prospect of losing their market share in one of the world's largest consumer markets. The situation has put China on the defensive, with Chinese officials making conciliatory statements in an attempt to defuse the tension. The ongoing economic and political tension between India and China has far-reaching implications for the global economy, and the world is watching closely to see how the situation unfolds. Will India's call for boycotts and protests lead to a lasting shift in the balance of economic power? Or will China be able to maintain its dominance in the region? What do you think? Let's know in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, share, and subscribe for more juicy details on what's going on in our world. Thanks for watching.